and for a killer to seemingly vanish in the middle of the night.
There is a threat out there still.
It's all hands on deck for investigators, racing to retrace steps.
No arrests, no publicly identifiable suspect, and no recovered murder weapon in the University of Idaho quadruple murder case.
The devastating case of the quadruple murder of Idaho University students has taken the internet by storm. Another day has passed with no arrests by the police. However, the public has been terrified by the investigation's fruitless month. What can be the intention behind this murder? Who might be the suspect? And why have there been no arrests yet? Is this case really so difficult to solve? These are some of the questions that empaths around the world have. We don't know how far the precedent after effects of this tragedy will go, and how deeply will this incident traumatize the upcoming generations. The concerned public, especially the parents with kids in college, are anxiously waiting for the investigators to comb out the murderer. Let's ease them out a bit and investigate this case together. Perhaps we can uncover some details that the authorities have overlooked. As of late, the authorities have been tight-lipped regarding the specific details of the case. The crumbs of information provided by the investigation teams are very perplexing too. The police have identified a suspicious white Hyundai Elantra, not specifying why or under what circumstances the suspicion arose. The license plate number of the said car has also not been disclosed. The investigators have further expressed their suspicion about one of the victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, allegedly having a stalker, and this said stalker is suspected to be the killer. According to the sources, the police have not captured any suspect yet, however, are most certainly gaining ground, as per an external public data official which said, "It takes a while to put together and piece together that whole timeline of events and the picture of what really occurred," said Aaron Snell, communications director for Idaho State Police. A lot of this the public doesn't get to see because it's a criminal investigation, but I guarantee you behind the scenes, there's so much work going on. That work incorporates interviews with an excess of 90 individuals as analysts investigate in excess of 700 leads. However, Moscow, a city of around 26,000 occupants, hasn't recorded a homicide beginning around 2015. The fourfold crime has shaken the little school local area, and only tension has increased with the continued absence of replies. The vague revelations or half-truths are not going to get us anywhere. So let's dissect the case step by step for intricate details. The victims with their other two roommates lived in a 3-story, 6-bedroom apartment. On November 12th, Saturday, Gonsalves posted a series of photos on her Instagram at some point with the caption, "One lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day." Reportedly that night, Chapin and Kernodle went to a party on campus, while Mogan and Gonsalves enjoyed themselves at a downtown bar. Later on, a picture was posted on Reddit of the two in the bar. Afterward, on November 13th, Sunday around 1:41 a.m., Mogan and Gonsalves ordered at a late-night food truck. They requested $10 worth of carbonara from the grub drivers and sat tight for around 10 minutes for their food. As they waited, they are seen talking with each other standing by the truck in this video. The two students didn't seem to be in distress or in danger in any way, said Joseph Woodall, 26, who deals with the truck. The police believe that about 1:45 a.m., Chapin and Kernodle had already arrived home. A video has surfaced on the internet of Mogan and Gonsalves walking with a hooded man. This hooded man has been deemed suspicious by the internet community and has been identified by the name Adam. You must be wondering, why are we digging up all the details now? Well, the same day after the return, the crime took place. The horrific incident was discovered by dispatched officers who were called to the residence for an unconscious person. The 911 call was made at 11:58 a.m., but the events that took place in between these time slots are still a mystery. The officers on site told the media it was a pretty traumatic scene to find 4 dead college students in a residence. Till the next day, November 14th, the victims were identified. In the wake of this tragedy, the university canceled all the classes. The police chief issued a statement saying the Moscow police do not believe that there is an ongoing community risk based on information gathered during the preliminary investigation, which did little to alleviate the stress of the neighboring communities. Moscow's mayor, Art Bedic, also released a statement calling the deaths senseless acts of violence. Bedic announced only limited information could be shared with the media without jeopardizing the integrity of the investigation. He further explained that with the crime of this magnitude, it's very difficult to work through. The overall assessment is that it's a crime of passion. The president of the university, Scott Green, also expressed deep sorrow and regret at the loss of 4 beautiful souls, saying, "Words cannot adequately describe the light these students brought to this world or ease the depth of suffering we feel at their passing under these tragic circumstances." On November 16th, the Moscow police revealed to the media that there were 2 people along with the victims at the time of the incident. James Fry, the police chief, said, "There were other people home at the time, but we're not just focusing just on them. We're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence." After conducting interviews with 38 people, the police concluded on November 18th that the victims were likely asleep at the time when the murderer stabbed them brutally with a fixed blade knife, moreover revealing the map of the victims at the time of the murder. Even 1 week after the bodies of the 4 students were discovered, the police authorities failed to find any suspect or weapon, to which Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier stated, police had fielded 646 tips and conducted more than 90 interviews. In the statement, the police declined to identify who did the 911 call from the home where the students were slain, saying the only call that came from the phone was from one of the surviving roommates. In the news conference on November 30th, the police had a list of suspected individuals, including the surviving roommates, to be innocent. They further specified that the attack was undoubtedly targeted. Not only that, the police announced a potential stalker of the victim, Kaylee Gonzalez, on December 5th. They also identified 2 men following the victim, but they did not try to make any eye contact with her. On December 7th, the police disclosed a prime piece of information. The suspected white Hyundai Elantra with an unknown license plate was spotted near the crime scene in the early morning of November 13th. Investigators believe the occupants of this vehicle may have critical information to share regarding this case, the police statement said. The people on the internet are coming through the evidence to find clues to help solve this unfortunate mystery. Nearly 1 month later, homicide detective Phil Waters told Law and Crime co-host Jesse Weber on an episode that the weapon used was likely a military knife.
So from the beginning of this, they've talked about the weapon, right? And what I have seen on television, they keep saying it's a Rambo type knife. Well, that's absolutely incorrect. It's not a Rambo type knife. In fact, I have read where they have identified the type of knife. And the type of knife that they're talking about is the United States Marine Corps K-bar. So when I saw this, my thought is this person prior military? So the specific weapon, if they're talking about a K-bar, which is what this is, then there's a possibility that they need to look into military background of some kind.
Even though the identification of the weapon has been the most recent discovery revealed by the police, surely many things are going around backstage. The fans have been very sympathetic toward the families of the victims. You can see the heartbreaking response from one of Kaylee's friends.
Anyone who knew Kaylee would tell you the same thing. To know her was to love her. Her love for life and everyone in it was so inspiring. She made it a priority to make everyone feel so important and so loved.
One of the fans sympathized with the survivors and commented, "Imagine waking up one morning with your friends brutally murdered, knowing the killer had to walk by your room to get to your friends, both on the way in and the way out. That is terrifying. God bless them." While others were questioning the decision to unroll the suspects, to which one commented, "My biggest question is how a guy showing unusual interest in the 2 young women shortly before they were murdered and who lived just a few feet away could be cleared by police so quickly and absolutely, yet his family has not publicly shared the evidence of his alibi to clear his name from being dragged through the mud." While others still believe that the authorities are doing their best to solve this case and put their trust in the chief's work, I believe the chief when he says this case will be solved. He has to be carrying a heavy burden on his shoulders. It's sad all the way around, but I really believe the chief is going to get to the bottom of this crime. I think more information comes out of the road, not in the beginning of a crime. Well then, this is all there is to the Idaho murder case. Stay tuned for the upcoming updates regarding this murder case. We pray that all the 4 innocent souls rest in peace. Until next time, goodbye.